to make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go!
Six!
It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Of course, Willis Automotive is proud to power the Rush Radio Show. Whether you're searching for a new, pre-owned, or certified car, Willis is driven to serve. Visit willisauto.com and discover a better car buying experience. Willis Automotive, where your next great drive begins. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube this morning, go ahead and slap that subscribe button. Slap it, slap it, slap it. Hit the like button. Also, leave your comments in the comment section, and you can follow us on our social media channels. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, buddy. How's your Monday starting off here? How was your weekend?
You know, my weekend was good. It was fast. I did something I haven't done in a long time yesterday. I went to church. I went to church
good for
yesterday.
You. Yeah.
Take me to church. Yeah. So, yeah, went to church yesterday. And then I took Owen and Lizzie and Anjanette's mom and dad and Lizzie's mom and dad out for brunch. So we all went to mass together, and then we went to brunch together. And then, I sat and recorded a podcast last night. But, and it capped off by we feel good about the Iowa win on Saturday. We feel good about the win. I don't know if we necessarily feel good about the way they played.
Not the game, just the win. We just feel good about the outcome, not the game.
It's like one of those things like, yeah, we won. God, we played like crap. And what does this mean? But, I'm still amazed, and thank God the Iowa Hawkeyes have Caden Weegan. I mean, you just have to look at it and go, this guy is something special when he's a return guy. We've talked about Caden Weegan a lot, but he's the reason Iowa beat Michigan State. He really, really is, and his ability to return punts is extraordinary. And the fact that he could give Iowa such good field position, score on a punt return, was the difference in that game, because Iowa, for basically 3 quarters, played like a team that looked at the bottom half of the Big Ten, maybe the bottom dwellers of the Big Ten, and then they woke up in the fourth.
No better stat line epitomizes that thing of bad game, great outcome than Mark Gronowski's line. Mark, because you're right. Caden Weegan's the one that keeps them in that game. Caden Weegan's the only reason they have a chance to win that game. Mark Gronowski in that fourth quarter, in the second half of that fourth quarter specifically, with a fantastic couple of throws. That touchdown is dropped into a bucket. Gronowski had a bad game and then a really nice second half of that fourth quarter. And really, I think you could say the fourth quarter. He did well in the fourth quarter, really. So, I don't want to dismiss Gronowski, but that his line epitomizes that thing that we're talking about. Glad they won. Not a great game. Not even a fun game to watch, Travis. Really, for 3 quarters, the number of people we had call into the Black and Gold Rush, our very first 2 callers, come on and say, I left early.
It was crazy. And fans, Tom from North Liberty was one. And then our super fan, and who we respect probably a lot when it comes to the show, the Black and Gold Rush, and even before that was Brent. Brent's is our Hawkeye fan of reason, right? Yep. He's measured when he calls. He's like, dude, I left early. And we're like, when Brent left early, we were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Listen, we love a lot of our callers.
Yes.
Brent has always had a way of kind of challenging us in a polite way. He's always had a way I'd say going back several years, man, several years. I remember a phone call with him in basketball. Man, I feel like it was even when, like, Adam Woodbury left or something. And he called in and he's like, hey, I'm noticing something with the way this team plays defense, and I kind of disagree. I just remember I had this feeling of him calling in and pushing back in a real polite way and going, oh, this guy's a smart fan. This guy sees, and I've always respected his phone calls. And he called in and said, I left early. I couldn't. It was so underwhelming. It was such a disappointing performance. That was, I mean, dude, I'd have to go back and look. Of the calls we took, because I was putting little notes by him, we had 4 different callers that wrote, I put little dots by the people that said that they left early. We had 4 different callers admit I was at the game, took my Saturday to go over and celebrate Senior Day with the Hawkeyes. I'm in Kinnick Stadium for the last time in 2025. I won't be back until next fall, and I left early. That's how disappointing and that's how boring and tough the game was. And that's a game that ends in a last-second field goal. That's a game that ends in a game-winning, a drive down the field. I really did think, oh, man, like we saw our buddy Bill Blank. That's the emotion. Everybody saw our buddy Bill Blank if you were watching the game. That's the emotion that I was anticipating most Hawkeye fans had towards the end of that game. And when we started taking calls and guys were like, I left early. I couldn't even handle it. What? So that's where I think Gronowski's line sums it up perfectly. 24 yards of passing going into the fourth quarter. 0 passing yards in the first quarter, 0 passing yards in the third quarter, and 24 passing yards in the second quarter. 5 of 11 going into halftime with 24 yards. Or going into the fourth quarter. 5 of 11 with 24 yards. So, and then you come away with the win, and you come away with actually what turns out to be a decent stat line for Mark Gronowski. I mean, it's not world beating. It's not, something that's going to race you up the Heisman board or get you drafted or anything like that. But for an Iowa quarterback and for what Mark Gronowski's done, decent stat line at the end of that game. Most important stat, you won the game.
You won the game.
Yep.
Now, after the Oregon game, a game in which Iowa lost, you quite confidently said I was going to blow out Nebraska. And have you changed your tune a little bit when it comes to that? Well, but then Nebraska goes and lays an egg at Penn State. I mean, played possibly its worst game of the year, gave up well over 230-some, 40-some yards rushing. And I don't know if it's going to be a blowout because if you look at the last 7 games in this series, Ross, last 7 games have all been one-score games. They've been incredible games.
I mean, Iowa just doesn't, very rarely, once a year, Iowa's going to go out and actually blow somebody out, right? And I don't anticipate a blowout. I anticipate a really good game. By the way, on Nebraska losing to Penn State, Penn State's a better team than they were when Iowa played them.
I would agree with you.
Penn State has had that addition by subtraction thing. Somehow, having James Franklin gone didn't necessarily light that fire inside of that team, but they've been a better football team in the last couple of weeks than what we thought they were going to be. So, yeah, I still think the Hawkeyes beat Nebraska on Friday. I mean, I still think that, but am I as confident? You nailed it on Saturday. You play like you did against Indiana and Oregon, you're going to beat Nebraska. In fact, you might blow out Nebraska if you play like that. Play like you did on Saturday against Michigan State, you probably lose that game.
It was interesting. We didn't even bring this up on Saturday. What maybe frustrates us about Iowa, but they've done it for as long as we can remember. And this wasn't a subject that came up, but it probably should have. And I thought about it more yesterday. And that is, Iowa is notorious for playing to the level of its competition.
Yes.
And if it's playing Oregon, if it's playing USC, if it's playing Indiana, it plays to that level. If it plays Michigan State, for some reason, it played to the level of a team that had not won a Big Ten game all year. That's what's frustrating, is that you play to the level of your competition, whether it's great competition or whether it's bad competition. And you can't get a feel for really how good this team is or what the possibilities are.
Corey puts this in the chat. I've never seen this name before. Corey, welcome to the show. Glad you're commenting. Hope you're enjoying things. This is a great point. And I try to say this often. Looking at past history in sports is the worst predictor of future results. And I am so guilty. I say this a lot. I'm so guilty of, I think what I just saw is what I'm going to see. I think what I just witnessed is what's going to happen again next week. And I think a lot of us do that where we watch. I mean, this is a great example. You watch this Iowa game and you go, well, they can't beat anybody. They were lucky to beat a winless in the Big Ten Michigan State team. How the hell can they go out? Oh, yeah, this is also the same team that played Indiana to the wire, that took Oregon to the wire. I keep saying they lost to Iowa State in the last-second field goal. It wasn't. That field goal happened with like 1:50 to play, and the Hawks had plenty of time. Iowa State had to take a knee a couple of times at the end of that game is how much time was left. But in my head, it feels like Iowa State won with a last-second 97-yard field goal. Neither one of those things is true.
I know what he's saying, and I don't disagree with him, but I would say when you look at the series with Nebraska in the last 7 games decided by one-score games, history tells you that these are usually pretty good games. We're fairly entertained, and they're close games. Not saying it's going to be, but you have
that's
a sample
what my
size.
anticipation is.
Yeah, you have a sample size to work with, and you look at both of these teams now, and you go, okay, they're poised to play another close game. If it's not, so be it. Yesterday I made a prediction on my Doc Talk podcast with Dr. Rob, and I said,
Drink.
I think drink. Go ahead and drink. I said 17-14 Iowa. Dr. Rob actually said 31-17 Iowa.
Oh, wow.
I kind of looked at him. I go, boy, you went the different direction that I thought you were going to go. He goes, I think they score on special teams, and I think the defense scores.
Well, that shows where Nebraska fan is at with their confidence right now too. That's nothing but indicative of how Nebraska has performed this year compared to their expectations. So I anticipate a good game on Friday. I mean, it's Monday. I saw the rundown today, and I'm like, God, sports all day?
Sports all day? Can you believe that?
We can't talk about fun stuff. We have to talk about sports all day?
Sorry. We could talk, we could talk about UAB players stabbing
Dude,
teammates.
How about that? How about that? Do you remember when Bryce Drew took over Baylor? Williams and I used to joke about this all the time.
There was a murder at Baylor University involving a basketball player. And, I mean, you look at some of the biggest
killing another
scandals.
basketball player. So, like we used to joke, Scott Drew, the first thing he had to do was walk in the locker room and say, hey, guys, don't kill each other. Rule number 1. We're gonna start from the ground up here. Rule number 1, don't kill each other. And UAB, I mean, it's nothing to joke about, but this is wild that Saturday morning before a game, this goes down.
And it makes me wonder this is where my brain starts going. What was it? Was it some kind of deal gone bad? Was it I just hate my teammates? I mean, to get a knife out and to stab 2 teammates is absolutely crazy. And rarely am I surprised, Ross. When players get arrested for stupid stuff, you go, okay, I'm not that surprised. When I hear a teammate stabbing 2 other teammates, that actually kind of goes, I kind of went, whoa. And because it's UAB, it gets news time. Now, if this would have been Georgia, Alabama, a major university, this would have been big time news. But stabbing teammates. The dude's still in jail.
And they still went and played.
What do you think about that? Because a lot of people were ripping UAB for continuing to play the game. Do you think they should have canceled the game?
I mean, the 2 players didn't die, right?
No, they're in stable condition.
Stable condition. I don't know, Trav. I mean, we don't. Here's the thing, man. We know 1% of this story.
True.
We know 1%. The coaching staff probably is in about that 70% range, right? They've been getting a couple different stories. They probably know about 70% of what happened. I don't know. It is very odd that you would have this happen and then be like, oh, okay, well, hey, guys, let's focus on game day operations. Everybody.
I mean, do you get together and go, do we play the game? Do we, or do you go, they're all 3 bad apples. Let's just move on.
I think you look at the roster and you go, where are they on the depth chart? How can we compete with these 3 guys not on the roster? Oh. Straight crazy deal. But again, shows us that we
Can I ask you a weird
know.
question?
We don't know what's happening. Yeah, fire away.
Would you rather get shot or get stabbed?
Oh, what a weird question. Oh, what a weird question.
I would rather get shot.
I don't want to think about that. I think it'd probably be shot, but I don't want to do either one. If I could get shot in my pinky toe, if you could just shoot off my pinky toe, then I'd be okay with that. I don't want bullets ripping through me either.
Yeah, but a blade sounds so much more painful.
I think it's the personal I'm with you. There's something about that. That Rob just hit it. A stabbing is pretty personal. I think that's it. There's the proximity of it all. But again, if I can get shot, I want to go. Do you ever watch Harlem Nights?
But it's been years since I've seen Harlem Nights. It's been years.
Was the lady's name Della Reese? Was that her name? Big black actress, just amazing actress. Was that her name, Della Reese?
Because Red Fox was in Harlem Nights. Eddie Murphy was in Harlem Nights.
Yeah, Della Reese. Della Reese. You remember Della Reese? Dude, Harlem Nights is such a great movie. Because she's getting ready to fight Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that's right.
Dude, he pops her, and she goes, oh, you done fucked up now. He's like, oh. Pulls the gun out on her. She's like, oh, you're going to shoot me, huh? He's like, I'll shoot that gnarled pinky toe right off your foot. She's like, go ahead. Shoot me in my pinky toe.
Tony says, really, Trav? Shot or stabbed? It's a bad week to act. Like a turkey. It just popped into my head. You know, I mean, you sit there and go, of all the things you can do to injure somebody, then I'm like, man, I would not want to get stabbed. Just the thought of a blade going, and I'm not trying to
skin. I don't want to make light of this, but he stabbed 2 people. 2. So like we're talking about how personal that is, and to the proximity of that, and the aggression, and how somebody's got to be in that, what mindset you have to be to stab somebody. Imagine the second guy. You watched a teammate lose his shit so bad that he went and stabbed a teammate, and so that's traumatic. There's 2 traumatic things right there. I watched a guy get so angry that he whipped out a knife and went to stab a friend. And then what happened? And then I got stabbed. Like, I think the fact that there's 2 that happened here, it kind of compounds that anxiety. And
this is why we need more of the story, right? And you are 100% correct. We know 1% of the story. We know a guy's in jail. We know a guy stabbed 2 teammates. What was it? Both personal? Was it one guy got stabbed because it was personal? Another guy steps in and goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he gets stabbed because you're trying to fend off somebody coming at you.
See, when somebody gets shot, there can always be that thing of like, it was an accident. Remember when the gun went off in here in the Drake neighborhood, and it was the Drake basketball player. This was 10 years ago or so. Do you remember this story?
Oh yeah, in the house.
The guy named Ross Peterson ended up being involved in it. Do you remember that whole story?
Yeah, we had the lawyer on to talk.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? But you can have that thing of like, man, a gun went off, the bullet went through a wall, and it hit somebody. I didn't act. You know, it's the Dick Cheney shooting his friend in the face thing. If you've been bird hunting and you know how a shotgun works, there is a part of you that goes, "Ugh, I can kind of see how that happened." I mean, it doesn't justify it, but I kind of see how it happened. You stabbed 2 people. That's not like, oh man, I was showing my blade off and I slipped and fell, and I accidentally poked my friend with it, and now I got to deal with the consequences. I slipped and fell, and then I tripped and I wobbled, and I went, whoops, oh no, oh gosh, I stabbed both of my friends. It was an accident. There's got to be some mental health stuff here. There has to be. There has to be.
Or some other stuff that goes down that somebody owed somebody something. But again, we know 1%. And that's what I'm talking about. Is it a drug deal that goes bad? Is it you know? Are you sleeping with somebody's other? You know, there's a lot of things.
We're 2 guys sleeping with somebody's other.
This is why we need clarity, because my mind will start just making stuff up in my head.
Again,
and
you stabbed 2 dudes. There's not a lot of. There's got to be like a real reason here, or again, it's just mental health, which could be part of it.
that wasn't the only thing that was the craziest thing that happened over the weekend. Colorado State played Boise State over the weekend. And again, this is, you wonder what's up with players, but Colorado State has suspended its quarterback and an offensive lineman, Ross, because they spat on Boise State players. Quarterback throws an interception and he spits on him, gets caught on tape doing it. Offensive lineman did the same thing. I know you're frustrated, but you spit on somebody? That is so third grade.
I'm with you. It's such the immaturity, your inability to handle the stuff that's happening on a field. That's it. I completely agree with you. The spitting is a whole different level. Like you talk about this, a stabbing is very personal. Spitting on somebody is also. Like it's
big time.
It's not a reaction. It's not like, that I guess in a way it is. It's not being able to handle your emotions. It's not being able to control your reactions. It's disgusting. And yeah, I think that's the type of thing that you learn a lot. Dude, it reminds me so much of Bill Romanowski. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
Who was insane. He was crazy. And there was a time when we looked at that like, oh yeah, that's football. That's a man. That's what. No, that's an insane person who can't control his emotions, who lets a game get into his head so bad that he has to commit assault against somebody. Because spitting on somebody is, I think, Berger even said it's actually assault. S. Williams, it's considered assault. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being called assault. That's gross. It's beyond. It's indicative of how immature you are. Travis, great way to put it. It's third grade. Remember when Robbie Alomar spit on an umpire?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I lost all respect for Robbie Alomar after that. I couldn't imagine cheering for that guy after that. And I was a kid when that happened. I was probably, what year do you think that happened? Google machine. When did Robbie Alomar spit? Go from Della Reese to Robbie Alomar spitting. I was getting ready to look up Harlem Nights and have all sorts of fun. Quick!
Let's see. Let's say Robbie Alomar spit on an umpire in 1996.
You are really good. I was going to say like 92. The first thing that threw my head was like 89. September 27th, 1996.
Wow. And I did not use the Google machine. I totally. Now, it was a random lucky guess, but wow. Was he suspended for that?
I believe so. In fact, I think he was suspended for the remainder of the year. He received a 5-game suspension. Okay. It says they later reconciled, although Alomar and Hirschbeck later reconciled after Alomar visited Hirschbeck's son, who was battling a brain disease. So, yeah. Spitting.
Just gross.
I'm trying to think of Romanowski is the first one that came to mind. Remember that one? And it was like this. It was one of those NFL films where they had the slow motion of. Oh,
it was a loogie. Was it like a full loogie?
It looked like he had to dip into. You know how you see the guy like do the spit and it like dribbles off. Oh.
I don't think I've ever spat on anybody, even when I was a kid.
No,
but I do remember I was kind of a bully. I had a friend that would react when you hawk the loogie. You know how you know, and he would the gag reflex. So I would just sit there and make him go. I would just sit there. Okay, okay. So I shouldn't feel. I never spat on him, but I made him almost puke every single time I did the snort to hack a loogie.
Yeah, there was a viral video for a long time floating around of a guy. His girlfriend would get the gag reflex if he just went oh. So he would videotape her. He'd be like, hey, honey. She'd be like, stop it. This is why you need to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm telling you. There's so many little things that pop up in our conversations that I need to reference It's Always Sunny.
How many seasons of Always Sunny were there?
Dude, like 16, 17.
Oh, really? That many?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that much time.
You don't anymore. You don't. I'd have to just send you the little clips of stuff for you to get it, but you have to truly appreciate the depravity of all those characters in order to appreciate the show.
Coming up at 7:30, Joe Woodley is going to be joining the show. The Drake Bulldogs onto the FCS playoffs. The announcement was made yesterday of where they're playing. We knew they were going to be in the playoffs after they beat Morehead State on Saturday, but now they're on to the first round of the FCS playoffs to take on South Dakota, a rematch of the third week of the season. Drake lost to South Dakota 42-21 earlier in the year. We'll see what the rematch means and hear from Coach Woodley as the Bulldogs are on to the FCS playoffs. You know, Black Friday's coming up, and what a better time to get those stocking stuffers on Black Friday. And no better place to look than the Iowa Lottery, because they have the gift that keeps on winning promotion. Say no, no, no to basic gift giving, and give the gift that keeps on winning. Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery. You got Holiday Gold, Holiday Bright, Merry and Bright, Holiday times 10, Merry Money, Peppermint Crossword, and Ross's favorite, Chillin' with the Gnomies. And don't forget your Instaplay tickets, Elf and Reindeer Riches. Prizes ranging from $500 to $250,000. So see your Iowa Lottery retailers.
A scratch-off ticket in a stocking stuffer? Who doesn't love a scratch-off ticket in a white elephant gift or a gift exchange?
People who don't like Christmas.
Losers. That's who. Losers. Don't be a loser. Get Iowa Lottery for the give the gift that keeps on winning.
That's right. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank and Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity, and this month we invite you to join us on our Once in a Wintertime sales event. Fall into savings this month by leasing an all-new 2026 QX60 Lux for as low as $799 a month for 24 months with just $5,000 down. Also take advantage of the 2.9% rate that Infinity is offering on both 2026 QX60 and QX80, and an additional $3,000 off of the new 2026 QX80. For more information, come say hi in our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
Hey, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. This holiday season, give the gift of sparkle that lasts a lifetime. From our latest designs to timeless favorites, there's something for everyone on your list. Already have a Fiscus diamond? Bring it in and trade up with our 100% trade up program. It's the perfect way to shine a little brighter this year. And if you're dreaming up something custom, get your design started by December 1st for Christmas delivery. Let's make this season magical together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You know, here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our families, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. Pump it up. With unleaded 88, go to iowacorn.org to learn more. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Monday. You're smiling, Ross, in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm in a better mood today, dude. I had a weird weekend. But dude from Iowa cracks me up because he's been talking this morning about doing all of his market tradings and whatnot. He says, I feel like I'm trading orange juice futures on Trading Places.
Frozen concentrated orange juice. Trading Places. What a great movie.
And
what
then, oh, man, the two old boys.
Mortimer?
Oh, come on. Mortimer and Dukes is their last name.
Yeah.
What's the other guy?
Randolph. Mortimer and Randolph Duke.
Yeah, right. And then, they make that appearance back in Coming to America.
That's right.
Yeah, when they're the homeless guys. We're back. Mortimer and Randolph Dukes. No, I was cracking up. I told you this story this morning. North Texas has a big game coming up this weekend. They're going to be headed to Rice to face Houston. 22nd ranked.
North Texas has that quarterback that never played, but played like one down in high school, and now he's a Davy O'Brien semifinalist. Can I go off on something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw all these posts yesterday from universities about their Davy O'Brien semifinalists. The Davy O'Brien Award goes to the best college quarterback on a yearly basis. Ross, when you hear semifinalists, what do you think?
There's two left.
4 left, right?
Four left. Sorry, finals would be 2.
Left.
Yeah, 4 left. Yeah. How many semifinalists are there, Travis?
There are 20 semifinalists. 20. So I'm like, well, you can't be a semifinalist if there's 20 of you left. That's not the way it works. I think in tournament structure here, if we have a semifinal, there's 4 teams left or four guys left, and of those 4, somebody's going to get to the finals, and then somebody's going to win.
Travis, I think that this, amen. It should just still be a watch list at this point.
Yes. So we took a watch list that had 150 quarterbacks on it, which was every quarterback basically in NCAA Division I, and narrowed it down to 20 for the semifinalists. And Mark Gronowski's not on that semifinal list.
And shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
But yeah, when I hear semifinal, I want 4 left, but no, you give me 20, and therefore I'm not paying attention.
Captain Kirk Hawk says, I'd like to see brackets for this stuff. Would you like to really see this done in like bracket style format? I don't think that'd be kind of fun, but I also wouldn't like it because it would be a week to week thing. You know what I mean? Like if Mendoza had a bad week and this kid from North Texas threw for 900 yards, and it'd be like, well, he had a better week, so Mendoza's out of the tournament. It shouldn't be like that, but I do think it should be like, I would be okay with if each week they kind of cut it down somehow and gave us a true watch list on like, all right, we think that these, and it doesn't have to be a set number. It's not like, all right, by November 24th, it has to be a list of 4. By the time we go into the last week, it's got to be this many guys. I don't think it needs to be like that, but I do think that there should be some sort of whittling process that happens here.
That's why I like the Remington Award, which goes to the best center. And Logan Jones has a pretty good shot at winning the Remington Award. But what they do is they don't have voters. They don't do that. They take the consensus of like 3 All-American teams. And if you're first team in 2 of them, you win the award, right? I mean, it's like they let other people kind of handle it. If you're an All-American at this position and you're like on 2 of the 3 lists and you're first team, you win the award. No politics, just straight up All-American, and you win the award. So.
Well, the folks in Houston, Texas this weekend are going to get a chance to see the 22nd ranked North Texas team. And Rice is doing something kind of interesting here for the weekend.
Got to get on the map somehow.
Well, not only got to get on the map, dude, remember, you got Thanksgiving coming up here, so the kids are headed home. So you got this giant matchup with a top 25 team. It's a home game where you're hoping to pack the stadium. You really, you don't get a lot of opportunities to make money like this if you're the Rice Owls down in Houston, Texas. So you go to the old standbys, Trav. Free beer.
Wow.
That's right. Trying to boost student attendance at a matchup this weekend, Rice University is offering free 12-ounce beers for students 21 and older at a stand near the student section. They're not only just going to get a free 12-ounce beer, and it does say beers, plural.
Plural.
But here's what it says. Showing a student ID will earn free Ben & Jerry's ice cream, a free T-shirt for the first 500 students, and a $15 voucher that can be used at 2 food trucks. And this is part I need some help with some smarter people that actually went to college. It says the residential college with the highest attendance can win a speaker and a $500 gift card to a local grocery store.
So
the residential college.
You got to live on campus.
Okay.
This is what I'm assuming, and maybe I wasn't smart enough to get in Rice. Rice is a really good school. Maybe they separate their dorms by what college you're in. So if you're in the engineering college, you have an engineering dorm, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But they're giving away free beer, free T-shirts, free Ben & Jerry's. They're saying, please,
what can go wrong?
Please stick
what
around.
Can go wrong?
Yeah, right. No.
And then 2 weeks later, 60 Minutes will have cutting down binge drinking in college.
Yeah.
Well, the college just contributed to it by giving you free beer.
I love it. Showing a student ID. Hey, how come your student ID doesn't match your regular ID? How come those are 2 different names? Here's your beer. Here's your Ben & Jerry's.
You know how you get people to stick around? You know how you get them to stick around?
Free beer and BJ's.
No.
I meant Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's is what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Okay.
That may work, but if you said, hey, if you all stick around, we're going to take $5,000 off your tuition. We're going to take $10,000 off your tuition. That will get you to stick around.
Oh, my gosh. Travis, they really should have things that every halftime should be something like that. Every halftime should be like, we're going to pull a student's name. He gets to come out, and if he can make an extra point, he gets tuition for a year. Or we can line up, and he can be the running back and go for 2.
Oklahoma drill. Oklahoma drill. But, yeah, you need to start offering free tuition or a tuition discount. That'll get people to stick around.
I agree with you. I mean, not that free beer and BJ's won't do that for a college kid.
Ben & Jerry's.
Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah.
Ben & Jerry's. What? Clarify that. That $15 voucher to a food truck. There'd be a few of those laying on the ground.
Well,
Maybe
their hope is have a beer, go to the food truck. Have a beer. If you have anything left, go to the food truck. Then you come back and you have another beer. Then you go get a BJ.
Get some BJs.
Yeah. Chunky Monkey. Jerry Garcia.
I can't think. Cherry Garcia. I was trying to think.
Garcia.
Cherry Garcia is one of. I can't think of any of the Ben and Jerry's. Are you a Ben and Jerry's fan?
No. I'm pretty particular
politics?
when it comes to my. No, it's just I'm. Because of the politics, everything's got to be political with you. No, it's just not my favorite ice cream. I'm pretty particular when it comes to ice cream, and Ben and Jerry's. I've given it plenty of shots, but I'm like, if I'm going to get a pint, that's probably not the one I'm going to get because I think it's overpriced too. And I look at the value and I go, okay, am I getting any better value with the Ben and Jerry's by paying $2 to $3 more a pint? And I'm like, I'm really not. So I can get basically the same flavors, maybe, without the brand name. But I love ice cream. It's my weakness. Ice cream is my weakness.
See, I'm a very basic. I'm usually just vanilla.
Yeah.
You can make it fancy if it's vanilla bean.
Isn't that vanilla?
Tastes like vanilla.
Yeah.
But if they put the bean on there, they can charge me a few extra dollars.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, right. Marketing, baby.
Do you have, for coaches that make a lot of money, and they make a lot of money, they are under a lot of pressure. And I don't wish anybody besides Brian Kelly to fail. But, we have to remember that people are human. And this includes guys that make $7-8 million a year. And there are some coaches, when they come out, you go, okay, is that genuine? Are you being sincere? And Chris Kleman is an Iowa guy. He was at North Dakota State. He's been at Kansas State the last 7 years. It has not been the season that Kansas State thought it was going to be. Started the season off losing to Iowa State and to Ireland. This team was picked to be at the top of the Big 12 conference. That's not going to happen. They go out and play a Utah team that is one of the best teams, playing like one of the best teams in the country. They get beat 51-47 in an absolute shootout, ran for over 400 yards. And the truth is, Kansas State fans are spoiled. Kansas State fans are spoiled. They believe, with that the days of Bill Snyder should be a lot, around. And it's not like Chris Kleman has failed at Kansas State. He's had a pretty successful run in 7 years. But when you don't live up to your potential, people start getting on the chat rooms. They start calling into to radio shows, and they bitch and they bitch and they bitch. And it does take a mental toll on these coaches. Now, sometimes when coaches go off, you go, oh, okay, you're sincere. Or you go, oh, that seems a little much. Here's Chris Kleman. This takes about a minute.
Okay.
But, Ross, I want to get your reaction from Chris Kleman's reaction after the loss to Utah on Saturday.
Because I've heard it enough. I've cashed it in. I've heard the players have cashed it in. We need to get new leadership here. We need to get new players, new coaches. I'm tired of it. I got to be honest with you. I'm tired of it. I've given my friggin' ass life for this place for 7 years. I've given everything for 7 years. And I think I deserve a little bit of respect. Dude, I'm frustrated like everybody else is, but I love those kids. Go friggin' battle with those kids any day.
Ain't going anywhere, brother. Okay? Understand that. We got your back. We got your back. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Questions?
Oh, you're muted.
That was Gene Taylor, who came in late, who was the athletic director, who says you ain't going anywhere. I mean, to me, I watched that, and that's a genuine reaction. You can't muster that up. And I looked at that, and it's a reminder that, you may make millions of dollars a year, but, man, you are human. There is a human element to it, and the pressure starts to get to you when it starts to mount.
Yes, Travis, you're right. I mean, that's a genuine reaction, no doubt about it. It's a bad look.
Really?
It's a bad look. I'm sorry. It is. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to have those. I think what we saw there is an indication of how difficult it really is to stand up there all the time. Like these coaches, I feel like a lot of times coaches are this close to that reaction.
To snapping.
He snaps there. That's your emotions getting the best of you. And you go, I'm struggling.
I'm at a breaking point.
Dude, I had a crash out this weekend. I told you about it before we came on. I had a major mental health crash out this weekend. Not even in front of people. And looking in the mirror. You go, man, I'm not living up to the standard. And luckily for me, there's no cameras around and there's nobody that gets to see it and nobody gets to ask questions. And to have your athletic director come up and kind of give you that attaboy like that, man. It's not what I mean by it's not a good look is you've got to be able to handle that better. You have to be able to. It might not be fair. That what I'm saying here might seem like it's unfair. We want coaches to be vulnerable. We want them to be authentic. We want them to show us that emotion like that and be raw and real with us. You've got to be able to, but I think what we really want to see is a guy be able to handle that pressure. What you really want to see is a guy that's got that fortitude even after 7 years. Because, man, when you look at what Kleman's done there at Kansas State, Travis, this season, like when you said they've been spoiled, this season hasn't been that far off from what Kansas State has been under him. It really hasn't. They're still looking to be bowl eligible, but you look at their losses, couple bad losses earlier. Losing to Utah is not, especially the way you lost to them. So go beat Colorado next week, and you're still 6-6 on the season. You get to some sort of bowl game. But did the season work out the way it was supposed to? No. But what has Kansas? I almost said Iowa State. What has Kansas State been in these last 7 years? Despite 2022, when they won 10 games, they went 10-4. They've, for the most part, been a 5, 6, 7 win team in the Big 10, in the Big 12. They're going to be they're probably going to be a 5-win team again this year in the Big 12. They are a team, besides that 22 season, that has been 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th in the Big 12. He's not that far from what they have been. It's been disappointing. But that thing of like, man, I've given my heart to this thing.
Well, you're expected to when you make millions of dollars. Unfortunately,
and you're also expected to win.
There's no work-life balance in coaching.
None. And that's what you sign up for. That's what you sign up for. You're going to make millions of dollars, and the pressures are going to be really, really high. And if you can't handle it, then we've got to find somebody that can. There is no participation award here. There's no, you don't get, it's not, boy, you're doing, unless you're at a Rice, unless you're at a school where that's what the expectation is. The expectation is graduate the kids, get through the season, be respectable. Is that what Kansas State wants to be? Or does Kansas State want to win football games?
They want to win football games.
I think that's what it is. That's what the fans are. At least that's what Chris Kleman's feeling there, is the fans or the pressure from somebody is coming in to go, damn it, win. Win. This thing of being a good guy and giving your all, those are the expectations. That's the bare minimum. If you don't come here and dedicate yourself to the place, then that's square one. So you've got to win. If you want to stick around and you want to keep this job, this shouldn't be some sort of charity line. There shouldn't be some soup kitchen where they go, oh, we got $1 million jobs. Who wants one? Are you a good guy? Do you care about the kids? That's the threshold to get into this. You've got to do those things. And you got to win. And if you don't win, you get a couple of years to figure it out. Or you got to find a university where their expectation isn't to really win. As long as you're a good guy and you represent the school well and you do that. And maybe Kansas State needs to reassess, and maybe that needs to be their expectation as a fan base and their expectation from the administration. And the AD coming up and putting his arm around him and saying, hey, we got this, man. We got this. I mean, that's the type of crash out I expect to see when you've got something hugely personal happening in your life.
Let me ask you something, because I feel, because I don't disagree with a word you said, but I feel like I'm a hypocrite, because you started it off and you're right. We want people to be vulnerable. We want to see the real side of people. Then if we do see the real side, it's like, well, wrong time. I mean, are we hypocrites a little bit when it comes to what we really want?
No, Travis, I don't think this is being hypocritical. I think that, no, I think we're being very specific. You need to have you need to have a coach that can handle those pressures and those things. You have to. Those pressures are going to keep coming, man. It's like waves in the ocean. And if you get tumbled by the waves, then you're not built for the ocean. And I think that's what we want to see. And is that we want to see a coach that can be a little bit vulnerable with this, can be a little bit raw, but has that wherewithal to withstand it.
Because Kirk Ferentz's vulnerability comes when he talks about his players, right? And you know, he gets choked up, but it's not in situations like that. When it comes to job security or he handles that in a much different way. His vulnerability comes when he's talking about players and the memories, because we talked about on Saturday, we don't know how many years left that Kirk Ferentz has. Matt Campbell I don't think he's the most vulnerable guy in the world. And that's because he's fairly young, but he's guarded, right? I mean, he's very, very guarded. The vulnerability doesn't come out in Matt Campbell that often. Every once in a while, we'll see that human touch to where he lays a joke or something like that. But the vulnerability is not quite there with Matt Campbell.
We talk a lot about how a football coach is a CEO. He's the public face of your organization. He's the CEO.
Probably the public face of the entire university, if you really think about it, at major
At a lot of
institutions.
places, you're right about that. At a lot of places, there's in fact only a handful where it's not the football coach that's the primary face of the athletic department. And I'm sorry, you can't have an emotional. You've got to be able to remove the emotion from it at some point. And that's the time when you got to remove it. If you had a CEO that got up there and had a crash out like that, had an emotional response to things,
stockholders would be selling
crying.
stock like
and a board member had to come up and put his arm around him and say, "Hey, we got this." You're the CEO, dude. You've got this. You've got to get control of it. It's dude. Again. It's okay to have those crash outs. I did it. You do it in front of the mirror. You do that at home. You can't do that in this public face like this, because what it shows people is you're starting to break. 7 years in, you haven't got to where you want to be. We get that. Everybody gets that. You're not living up to your own expectation in your own bar. Doing this publicly like that, it's a bad look, and I don't mean to knock Chris Kleman for it. And we are being hypocrites. You're right. Double Decker wrote this. Y'all are being hypocritical. It's okay to admit and show emotion, but only at the right time. Yes. Yes, and crash outs do happen. I'm a very vulnerable guy. And you're lucky that I didn't get more emotional with you this morning telling you about my weekend crash out, my mental health crisis I had over the weekend.
He didn't even call me and tell me about it. I didn't learn about it till this morning. He wasn't even vulnerable enough with me this morning.
I didn't. It was too personal, man. I had that moment that Chris Kleman just had in front of a camera at a press conference. I'm not a multi-million-dollar CEO of a corporation. I'm not the face of an athletic department. This is what I'm talking about. That's why I say it's a bad look. It's okay to do that. It's okay to be vulnerable. You've got to pick and choose your times to do it. It's okay, and you can be vulnerable without showing that level of emotion.
I do know this,
and maybe I am being picky. Maybe I'm being hypocritical. I think all of those things are true, but I also think that time and place matter big time when you are the face of a multi-billion-dollar organization like this. Certainly multi-million-dollar.
I do know this, and that people are built differently, right? I mean, we're all different creatures. We have different breaking points. We have different emotion levels. And you combine with the criticism with what was just an emotional loss, right? So you have everything. It was the perfect storm for Chris Kleman, meaning he'd been dealing with this. Then you have Utah on the ropes. You run for 400-plus yards. You're up, and then you fall behind 51-47. You get beat, and it's just like it all happened at once.
You know what it reminds me of as I'm thinking about it here? Paul Rhoads.
Good point.
Did we love Paul Rhoads for being emotional? Did we love Paul Rhoads for leading with his heart? And always, yes. Weren't there times when we looked at it and went, ooh.
Yeah, against Kansas State.
So this is what I'm saying. And it's such a weird thing to try to walk that line and go, well, we want you to be honest with us. But don't be that vulnerable. Don't make us uncomfortable with your honesty.
I will admit, I was, and I probably had a different reaction than you did. I did feel sorry for him. I appreciated the passion.
Wow, look at us. Look at the roles reversing here.
But what you just said there was true. I was uncomfortable watching that to a point. We were like, okay, this... I get it for a little bit, but I mean, you noticed I put a little white flash in there. I had to take out like 30 seconds of just dead silence of him not saying anything. I'm like, okay, this is getting really uncomfortable. Before Gene Taylor had to come up and basically reassure him that you have a job. That was the uncomfortable part.
It reminds me of Paul Rhoads, and it reminds me of Jamie Pollard having to take the stand. You are a CEO. You are held to a different standard. If your players come out there and they have an emotional reaction like that, man, we all look at that and we go, look at this kid. Look at this young man with his heart on his shoulder. That's really cool. When the CEO does it, your board of directors are going to look around at each other with side eyes and go, uh-oh. Do we have the guy with the right emotional intelligence here to be handling all this situation? Because here's the deal. More pressures are coming.
Yeah, it's not going to get
the
lighter.
Waves keep coming, man. The waves keep coming.
If anything, he may have hurt his recruiting chances. A lot of people may go, say he's got his players back. If I'm a potential recruit, I'm like, how long is that guy going to be there? Right? I mean, it's like, and that's another one of the pressures in the NIL world is that you are expected to go find players, make the money work, and win football games. And yes, we can talk about graduation rates. We can talk about all that stuff. At the end of the day, you're expected to win football games.
Those are the bare minimum. Those are the threshold. Man, not all the animals on the farm get treated the same. The Alabama coach is never going to be treated the same as the Ball State coach. Your expectations are completely different. And it's a spectrum and a scale. And as you move up that spectrum and that scale, things are going to change. And you're at Kansas State. You were brought in because they wanted you to be Bill Snyder. They wanted you to take this team to the mountaintop. You won 10 games just a couple of years ago. Your expectations all changed. The pressure all changed. And what that showed me is a guy that, I mean, you don't see that very often. You don't see a head coach cry at the podium just because of the pressures of the job. Maybe something else has happened in his life.
And that's a possibility.
And if that's the case, I honestly, that would be the vulnerability thing. To come out and go, man, I'm dealing with some personal stuff right now, guys. That this is what's weighing on me. And I can't, and we came so freaking close to upsetting Utah. A game we needed to win. These boys needed to win. This fan base needed to win. And I let that down, and I'm letting down myself in a lot of other ways. Maybe that would have been a little bit different than just what it appears to be. And again, we know 5% of what's happened there, probably less. What it appears to be is the pressures of trying to win at the college football level are too great for me. Well, then you're not the guy that we thought that you were. Then you're not the guy that can be lead a Big 12 organization like this. I want vulnerability. I want raw. I want genuine.
But only to a point.
But it's okay to also look back and go, this is not a good look, and this might not be the role for you right now.
515-517-2303 is the number to call. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. Don't forget, for your local full-service jeweler, look no further than Fiscus Jewelers in Ankeny, 1701 Delaware Avenue, Suite 250, custom design. They got your engagement and bridal rings, repairs, appraisals. So start your design at fiscusjewelers.com, open Monday through Saturday. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and this November, we're starting early. We are starting our December to Remember sales event today. First off, I want to highlight a special lease on 2026 NX Gas. It's $409 per month with $49.99 due at signing. Or you can take advantage of rates as low as 2.49 for 48 months or 3.49 for 60 months on IS model, all ES models, NX Gas, RX Gas, and TX Gas, and as an added bonus on 2026 RX Gas, NX, and TX Gas models. I invite you to stop in and take the new Lexus for a test drive, or visit us online at willislexus.com where you'll find some special offers.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Are you ready for something new? Willis Automotive has you covered with premium brands, trusted pre-owned vehicles, and service you can count on. Visit willisauto.com. Schedule your test drive and get behind the wheel of confidence. Willis Automotive, powering the Rush every single morning. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video and start leaving your comments in the comment section. And you can follow us on social media, which would be X, Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Coming up at 7:30, Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs, is going to be joining us, talking about their FCS playoff berth. They're going to be at South Dakota this weekend. It is a weird week because it's Thanksgiving week, and I just want everybody to know that Ross and I are going to be doing a show on Thanksgiving Day, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with you, and we've got a couple good interviews lined up, including Todd Stepsis and his wife joining us Thanksgiving morning to see what's going on in the Stepsis house. And he wrote me an email last night, Ross. He goes, hey, you might want to get your censor button ready. I can't wait to meet his wife. I'm really excited to meet his wife. I think this is super cool.
Dude, now that you say that, though, like a lot of the coaches' wives that I know have that thing about them.
Little attitude to them.
Dude, you got to have... You know, I'm thinking of I don't want to out anybody, but I can think of right now like a few coaches' wives that I do know. And dude, they're all got that spunk about them, like that.
I think you're talking about Fran McCaffrey's wife. I think you're talking about Fran McCaffrey's wife.
Well, I don't know her. I don't know her at all, but I only know the stories of her, unfortunately, which isn't fair at all. But I think that is the stereotype that I'm talking about. The 2% I do know about Fran McCaffrey's wife: tough lady, aggressive, assertive, foul-mouthed, right? Will let you know what they think in pretty blunt terms. Very nice, super supportive. Dude, my buddy that fought in the UFC, this is one that his wife, Kelly, one of the coolest chicks you've ever been around in your life. Like one of the boys type of thing. You know what I mean? Awesome. Fun lady. Will and fits that exactly what I was just talking about there. Will tell you what she's thinking, has no problem sharing her opinion in very blunt terms. Be very honest with you, be very kind with you, be very supportive of you, but when you fuck up, they're going to be the first one to wag their finger in your face and go, hey, quit doing that. There's an accountability. I think that's the word that's the word I would use for.
And you know what? I think coaches need that. They need somebody to ground them.
That's a good word, Travis, to ground them. But there's got to be that account. I think that's what coaches are drawn to with some of this is coaches want accountability. They're looking for accountability. They're looking for somebody that You know, a good coach has that thing of like, what does love mean? Love means I always want something better for you. Love, you know, the guy that came up with the phrase "be all you can be" for the Army.
Yeah.
He had another phrase. And it was, the greatest gift you can give another person is the expectation for the constant improvement of their life. The greatest gift you can give another person is the expectation for the constant improvement of their life. The greatest thing you can give somebody is to say, hey, man, I think you can be better. Good job.
Be all you can be really sums it up, though.
Sums it up pretty quickly.
Pretty
but
good,
that one,
pretty good.
But that's a little bit of a deeper way to say what it is that you're trying to get out of somebody.
Do you know who we want to improve on a regular basis? We want him to be all he can be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome from New Sharon, Derek from New Sharon. Morning, Derek.
What's up, buddy?
Good morning. What are we talking? I've been at work 3 hours. I'm being all like a beat a day right now. I'll tell you that. Hey, what are we talking about today, fellas? We're surely not talking about football. Football's over.
Life,
Let's talk
buddy.
about a little basketball.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Do that too.
You got a big game this afternoon. You got a big game this afternoon, a 3:30 game against St. John's.
St. John's.
Yep.
I don't even think Pitino's going to be on the bench. He's probably going to get caught banging a waitress out there in Vegas like he did in Louisville. He'll probably get suspended before the game. And then tomorrow we got the biggest losing coach ever in ISU history, McDermott.
Come on now, don't pick on Greg McDermott. Don't pick on Greg McDermott.
Have you met Derek?
What
before?
do you mean? He was the losingest coach in my history of Cyclone basketball.
Is that
true? He never made a tournament.
Wow.
He's the worst. I've been watching Cyclone basketball since Johnny Orr. That's when I started. He's the worst coach I've had. Sorry, that's just the way it is. It's a proven fact. Anyway, now let's go to tomorrow. When you're playing that, the Hawkeyes are playing that dirty son of a bitch, Chris Bird, who choked out his girlfriend until she's unconscious. I might root for the Hawkeyes tomorrow night. Don't tell nobody that. Keep it on lowdown. That son of a bitch don't need to be making $5 million a year when he's choking out women.
She didn't file charges now. She backed off.
Well, hell no. You got to have the money. You got to save the money coming in. Hell no, she didn't press charges. She caved like most women do. He should not be making a dime, Ole Miss. Nice moral values, Ole Miss. Woo. Anyway, we got anything good to talk about today, bud?
What was that?
He said, do we got anything good to talk about today, bud?
I thought we had a lot to get
Derek,
stuff to
how's
talk
this? Because he hasn't been listening to the show. He said that. He's like, I've been working. Derek, I will tell you, dude, I got one the other day where somebody reached out to me and they were like, hey, have you ever met Derek from New Sharon? I said, yeah. And they were like, is it an act? Because I met some guy the other day and I think it was him, but his name wasn't Derek. And I'm like, no, man. No, this is the real deal. Like the Derek that you get, this is... It might be turned up a little bit, but this is the real guy.
Oh, I'm completely sober right now. This is the real deal, bud.
I'm completely
sober
right now.
I'm ready for basketball. It only gets really turned up when I get half in the sauce or totally in the sauce. I about called you guys after sound off, but Michigan State laid an egg.
Yeah.
Jonathan Smith should have been fired right on the field. If I don't care about the buyout. You don't kick to the best player, the only guy that's hurting you.
Well, they quit. I mean, he did start doing the quarterback, the fake play punt type of thing. So they did eventually get away from kicking the ball to him after he burned him a couple times, though.
Yeah, well, football's over. Nobody made playoffs. Now we just got to watch stupid bowl games. Well, I'm ready for basketball. This is going to be a hell of a matchup this afternoon.
I would agree
I'm
with
going
you.
to have to get out of here about noon and get 18 back in before the game starts. I get wound up for it.
That boy.
All right.
Send us a photo.
You guys have a good week, fellas.
See you, Derek.
See, so fake fake Bob Vanderplatz wrote in and said, Derek is like a poor man's Donnie Baker. Guys, here's the this is why I love the guy. I don't agree with everything he says by any stretch. I actually like when he calls in and he says things that piss me off more than when he says things I think are funny. It's real. We were just talking about how we like authentic, we like vulnerable, we like authenticity. Donnie Baker was a character. Who's the Tomater guy that's from Omaha?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Cable Guy. That's a character. That's a guy pretending to be something to get to entertain you. That's the real deal. I've met it in flesh and bone at vulnerable times. And it's the real deal. That's why I love having him call in, because it is when people are like instantly, because we have several people that are like, oh, mute the radio while he's on. Let me know when he's off the radio. I like it when he makes people uncomfortable.
Well, we on the Black and Gold Rush over the weekend, we got somebody commented on the show, said the Bush family is becoming the Hawkeye version of Derek from New Sharon. And I'm like, I think there are people who don't want us to let Derek on the air or don't let the Bush family on the air. I'm like, we've never edited anybody as long as we've been doing this.
Phone lines open for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Phone lines open for everybody.
And by the way, the phone line sounds really good.
It does sound good. Doesn't it sound way better?
Yeah. Did some improvements over the weekend. Got to thank my son again. No, thank
big
Owen.
Thank you to Owen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Owen
told you,
does
dude.
it all.
I was out Friday afternoon. He sent me a text and he's like, hey man, been working all afternoon, did a bunch of testing. I think we're good to go. Fix the phone line for you. And I sent him back a picture of the largemouth bass I caught Friday afternoon and said, yeah, while you were saving our asses, I was out doing this. I caught a nice one Friday afternoon. See that?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
I sent it to you.
You did send it to me. And I'm like, and it's a fish. That's all I look at it and go, it's a fish.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong?
Lots of things.
You and Mark Charter, okay? So I send that to another group of guys, and I'm like, hey, guys, check this out. Friday afternoon, had a fun day. I had a fun Friday. And then catch a nice bass Friday afternoon. I send it to the guys. I'm like, hey, check this out. And Charter writes back, seems like a cold day for fishing. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm not here to judge. I'm glad you caught the largemouth bass. I just look at it and go, it's a fish. I don't appreciate the skill that it took.
It is
Driftless
indeed a
Iowan
fish.
asked a very important question when it comes. He goes, do you guys collect calls from the Anamosa State Penitentiary? The answer is no, I don't think we can, because the automatic call screener would have to accept the collect call, and I don't think it has the capability of doing so.
That would be great, though, to have the welcome to the rush. And it goes, you are receiving a call from the Anamosa State Penitentiary. And then I think it comes on and says, inmate, state your name.
Now, if you want to call from prison, if you get your one phone call, that's fine, but we're not going to accept the collect call. Not going to happen. I am looking forward to this Iowa State game this afternoon. For a number of reasons. You've got a top 25 matchup.
Yeah.
It is St. John's. Rick Pitino. There is something about the aura of Rick Pitino, right? You can hate him, you can love him, but there is something about, hey, you're going against Rick Pitino. There's something about, what is it about him? He has a magnetism to him. He has a polarization about him. But he's like the car accident. You have to stop and look at.
That's a good way to put it. Are you a Rick Pitino fan?
I kind of am.
Are you really? Because I thought the answer to that was nobody's a Rick Pitino fan.
I think I've become more of a fan of him in the fact that when I appreciate, hear me out. I'm a fan of him because the guy just wins. And you go to Iona and you build a winner, right? And it's just like wherever he ends up, Providence. It's easy. It's probably easy for him to win at Kentucky. Then he goes to Louisville. Then he gets fired. and he goes to Iona. And then within 3 years, he's only lost 19 games at St. John's. And you just start to appreciate maybe this guy is a pretty darn good coach. And so, am I a fan? Let's put it this way. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I've never met the guy.
Good point.
But I'm not disgusted by him.
I'm definitely turned off by him. Disgusted is probably a strong word for it. He's got that kind of mobster thing about him. The slicked back hair, the suit, the personality, persona, whatever it is I'm looking for there. There's just, he's got that East Coast thing about him that I have a hard time with as a kid that has lived my entire life in Polk County, Iowa. It's way different than anything I've ever been close to in my life.
Back when I was on Big Sports 590 in Omaha, he actually came on my radio show. He came to Omaha to do a speaking engagement, and I got to meet him there. So I have met Rick Pitino, but it's not like this deep, thing. But I said, hey, would you do our radio show? And he says, yeah, give me a call. So he actually did our radio. And Ross, he broke down sports radio, and he called it the Fellowship of the Miserable.
I've heard that before. Yeah, perfect. He's absolutely right.
Yes, and he went on. He just went on this dialogue about how he gets it, he understands it, but it really is the Fellowship of the Miserable. So we started at that point. We just took it and said, basically, all our listeners are the Fellowship of the Miserable, and we talk about how the Black and Gold Rush is therapy session for Iowa Hawkeye football fans after the game, and sometimes people use this. How many emails do we get to say, hey, I don't listen to you guys for sports. I listen to you guys because I want to laugh, and you guys make my day every single day.
And it's the one that means the most to us. Is like, man, thank you guys for giving me a couple of hours of not thinking about my problems.
Yes.
For a couple of hours. Dude, this show is therapy for me. You are therapy for me.
And you're therapy for me.
To come on here for a couple of hours and not think about, dude, for 2 hours, my brain works in a different way. For 2 hours, I'm not thinking about my bills and the dishes and the laundry and all the other stuff and the house maintenance that I'm falling behind on and the yard that needs to be raked and all that. And now I'm thinking about it. No, I don't. No, I'm kidding. It's therapy to come on here and do this. We're all miserable in some way.
We are. Yeah. And that's why we get together every morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kumbaya, my Lord.
But there is something about Rick Pitino that I just I find myself having a hard time, certainly not rooting for him. I can't imagine ever being like, oh, I'm really pulling for Rick Pitino here on this one. I never liked his son, Richard. I never had the respect for him that I do for Rick.
You know why? Because that looks like winning. And you're like, okay, you have a job because your dad is Rick Pitino. It's like riding the coattails. And this is probably a sick thing of me, why I kind of like Rick Pitino. I kind of like villains, right? Sometimes in a movie, I like the villain.
Travis,
what does that say about me that I like villains every now and then?
You know what it means, I think, Travis? I think it means and I give you a lot of credit for things. You are more in touch with that side of your personality than most people are. And not that you embrace it. We all have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde inside of us. We've all got that. We've all got the potential for the Chris Kleman breakdown. We're all this close every day to having something like that happen. And I think that people like you and people that you just touched on something really good here with Rick Pitino. He's comfortable with who he is. You're comfortable with it. I'm not. That's why I'm always the good guy and I'm always trying to be better and all that, because I'm trying to run from that dark side of me.
Embrace the dark side.
There is something about somebody that can kind of embrace it and doesn't give a shit if other people see it. Rick Pitino is the epitome of that. Like somebody said,
I'm going to disagree with this. He said Travis dislikes Chris Kleman but likes Rick Pitino. Hold on. You need to go back and listen to that whole conversation. I started off by saying, hey, I have some empathy for this guy. Do you see the pressure? And then Ross goes, well, hold on for a second.
It's me.
Kirk,
It's me. Because I don't like, I don't know. I did the Kleman thing. Again, I feel for the guy. I want to be clear about that. I'm not heartless about it. I feel for the guy. I can relate to that. I can relate to the not living up to your own bar, feeling the pressures of this world overcome you. That I can totally relate to. How does it look when a CEO does that was my take on that. It just was not, I feel for the guy, not a good look. Reminds me of Paul Rhoads at Iowa State. Reminds me of Paul Rhoads and you're not controlling your emotions the way that you need to. Rick Pitino, could you see Rick Pitino having a crash out like that?
No.
Hell no.
Never.
Hell no.
Ever. By the way,
does
the Cyclones...
Does it mean he's less in touch with his emotions or feelings? Or does it... I think what it is he's just okay with people not liking him. He just... When criticisms come his way, he goes, screw you. I know who I am.
Comfortable in his own skin.
New York. He is a New Yorker. And that's why it's hard for me. Again, a kid from Des Moines, Iowa. Those are two different countries. You might not admit it, but man, America is a bunch of different countries. The South ain't the same as New York. California ain't the same as Iowa. We have different we have completely different cultures. We communicate in different ways. Might be the same language, we communicate way different. And being from New York, I've always had a hard time with who Rick Pitino is. Maybe I've always had a hard time with Rick Pitino being so comfortable being that villain. Interesting guy, fascinating, wins.
By the way, Iowa State, a 1.5 favorite against St. John's. Tickets right now, Ross, as low as in Las Vegas, $132.
Whoa. I was expecting to be a lot cheaper than that, honestly.
Yeah. Joe Woodley joins us on the Rush Radio Show when we come back. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Thankful? More like tankful of gas in your new Nissan SUV. This November, we're giving thanks for you. At Willis Nissan, we're celebrating 0% financing and special model year closeout savings on our most popular Nissans. If you've been getting hungry for a new Pathfinder or Murano, there's never been a better time to scoop one onto your plate. So sit around our table or visit us online at willisnissan.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hey, it's Noel from Fiskus Jewelers. This holiday season, give the gift of sparkle that lasts a lifetime. From our latest designs to timeless favorites, there's something for everyone on your list. Already have a Fiskus diamond? Bring it in and trade up with our 100% trade up program. It's the perfect way to shine a little brighter this year. And if you're dreaming up something custom, get your design started by December 1st for Christmas delivery. Let's make this season magical together. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Hi, I'm Sean, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. The holiday season is just around the corner, and now's a great time for you to make sure your Mini is ready for any holiday plans you have. Visit us now to take advantage of our $100 mail-in rebate on the purchase of 4 select tires. Visit us online or give us a call to schedule your appointment.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Get ready for the magic of the holiday season. The Coca-Cola Holiday Caravan is rolling into central Iowa, bringing thousands of sparkling lights, festive cheer, and unforgettable holiday moments. The caravan arrives on November 26th, is in town through December 1st. Just visit the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company's social media pages to find out where you can take your family, get your photo taken with Santa, and enjoy a really, really good time. Thanks to Atlanta
check
Coca-Cola
that out.
Bottling Company.
When you first started mentioning that, I wrote that one down. That would be something cool to check out.
Yeah, I think Audrey would really, really like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Go check that out.
So yesterday, the FCS playoffs were announced. The Drake Bulldogs knew they were in because they won the Pioneer League outright on Saturday with a win over Morehead State. They got together, had a nice gathering, and saw their name pop up on TV. You know it's serious business. We usually get him in the F-150 driving after dropping, but today he's in the office. It's
He's already been in there for
business.
hours. He's hours into his workday already. I can see it.
He hasn't even slept. Joe Woodley. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I certainly slept. Daughter just had show choir this morning, so had to get her there. We had to leave the house by 6:30. So this timed out a little. I didn't know that when you reached out, Travis. So I probably could have come on sooner, but figured I'd give the office treatment today a little bit better view. I'm usually on my phone, and I know we got cut off one time because of it, but yeah, great to be with you guys today.
All right,
you're a technology wizard. You're a technology wizard. You figured it out. You troubleshot. You didn't bring a secretary or assistant coach in. You figured it out, didn't you?
Well, once upon a time I didn't have it figured out, but now I do. Usually one of my assistants has to help me with most things. I'm not terrible with tech, but I'm right at that age where I could deal without it. Ross is probably in that same boat, and I do like the convenience of it at times for sure.
Let's go back to Saturday, all right, because a lot was on the line, and we talked about it last week. I mean, it's a must-win. You got to get that to eliminate yourself from all sorts of tiebreaker scenarios. Win, and you guys are in. You go into the fourth quarter trailing in that game. The game is in doubt into those final 4 minutes or so. I want to go back to that feeling that you had to have as Nick Herman. So with about 3 minutes to go, game is a 3-point game. You're up 10-7, and Nick Herman breaks a 77-yard run. Now it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you're going to win. It doesn't lock it in. It's not like that's the field goal that put. What was that like as Nick Herman's running down the field and you kind of that realization sets in of like, holy shit, we're going to do this?
once he got about past 10 or 11 yards, all I was doing was looking backwards for flags.
I love a coach's attitude.
It was just one of those days where, at least it seemed like maybe more so on the offensive side was kind of one step forward, two steps back most of the days. If you were to pick up that stat sheet and just look at the stats, we rushed for over 330 yards. And, it was just, like I said, costly turnovers when they happened. But when they did happen, I think our defense did a heck of a job kind of bailing us out of those situations. But, to answer your question, Ross, once I knew it was finally a touchdown and kind of cleared all that stuff up with no laundry on the field, because we had already had a touchdown called back earlier in the game, that would have given us the lead. But I don't know. It was just, I don't know if I necessarily totally exhaled, but I like our chances when we're up 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, and especially with the way our defense was playing. They only gave up 7 points, but Moorhead certainly moved the ball for fair portion of the day. But like I said, defense got some timely stops too, and but yeah, it was a certainly had to earn every bit of that, and I knew that was the case coming in. Moorhead had, they had won 4 straight games, and they were playing confident football, and they came in here to Drake Stadium and won a game last year in similar circumstances. So there was a lot of that at play, and but I just think our guys really all year have just found ways to win tough games, and it's just really a testament to who they are, and really I'd be remiss if I didn't give a lot of credit to the coaches on my staff, bunch of young guys, us doing this together for the first time. They did a heck of a job this year, and especially on Saturday, to find a way for us to get that done.
So you gather yesterday to watch. You're in, but what is it by seeing your name on TV, being announced, and who you're going to play? I mean, even though you're in, there's got to be kind of a thrill with that, is there?
Yeah, it's just being recognized, on a national level for what you've done, and really a pretty wide audience. I don't know how many folks tuned into that. It's not quite like the Beast or the FBS playoff selection show, but there's certainly a lot in across the country in FCS football, because it's damn good football, and and just to be like you said, to have Drake's logo up there, what was pretty neat, pretty special, and you could see it in the guys' reactions, and because the very first time they put the logo up there, we were one of the automatic qualifiers, on ESPN national TV. That was pretty neat, and again, they deserve every bit of it. They've earned every bit of it. We didn't eke our way into this playoff field, and very deserving, and just certainly proud of everybody involved.
Does it help at all that you draw South Dakota, a team that you've already played this year? I mean, it was early in the season. Both of you're a different team than you were when you played South Dakota. They're a slightly different team than when you played them. But is there any sort of familiarity? Like, what's the reaction when you realize you're headed to South Dakota again?
Yeah, well, it was really kind of out of left field, because I was given information at one point in time. I guess I don't know if information, but maybe something that they, short story long, how I understood it is they try to avoid teams playing each other again, and basically the nuance of that became that they try to avoid conference opponents that have played each other. So I don't know if they scrambled their way out of it on that one, but at the end of the day, obviously we're in this tournament, so to speak, and it didn't matter who the other team was going to be. We just wanted an opportunity to go play another game, and yeah, I think it helps. Probably just so with like the familiarity of what the travel looks like. I mean, it's pretty much cut and paste. The game's an hour earlier. That's really about the only difference as far as our travel is going to be concerned. It's a fairly short trip. It's a bus trip, and yeah, there's familiarity with what they do, but on the flip side, there's familiarity with them for what we do. But I do know that we're both two totally different teams since we played back in September, and of course, one of my best friends is their head coach, and I've watched him every week. Anytime I get a chance, I watch as much of them as I can, and I know he does us. So there's a lot of that going on too. And now I wasn't watching the game thinking we were going to play him again. Watching his games thinking we were going to play him again, but then again, I don't remember half of it, and that's what we're trying to do this week. Is, just get ourselves prepared and put ourselves in a little bit better position than than what we did last time. And quite honestly, I thought that game really took a turn. We were down 7 with about 5 minutes left in the first half, and it's 3rd and 15, and they hit us for a 75-yard touchdown. And, if we're able to get a stop there, or at least just make them drive it down the field and take a little more time off, I think that could have been a totally different game, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. I try not to be one of those coaches, but I think what it does show you is that we're capable of, competing in this football game, and, and that's going to be the challenge to our guys, and certainly excited for the opportunity.
42-21 was the final score, and I remember after that I said these teams aren't going to want to play you again, and you kind of had that smile on your face. Do you think he's like, crap, we drew Drake, and they know what you're capable of?
Yeah, I can't speak for how they feel about this opportunity, but again, to me, we've just talked all year as our team. You got to earn the right to go play more football, and that's what we're going to hang our hat on. We're going to do the same things we've done all year, just be as consistent as we possibly can. And and when we get into that game, we've got to minimize the mistakes, and because the margins are razor thin in a game like this, and especially when there's no tomorrow. Whether, every coach is going to want to say, yeah, it's just another game, but there's always something a little extra when you're in a playoff situation. Fortunately, been in a lot of those playoff games, and it just there's something inside you that feels a little bit different because you're the only teams playing. There's only so many teams playing this time of year. It's a special feeling. You're practicing over Thanksgiving. Again, been fortunate to be doing that for a long, long time. And again, that's why you compete. That's why you play, is to be in these situations. And when you're in them, you may as well go make the most of the opportunity and do whatever it takes to position yourselves to have success.
You kind of mentioned it there in passing, and I want to kind of core in on this a little bit because I thought this was interesting. Travis Johansson obviously is the head coach of South Dakota. He was your defensive coordinator at Grandview for what, five years, something like that, around there. It seems like, is that? Well,
he was. I was the D coordinator. He was the DB's defensive backs coach, and then my dad's last year, I was the offensive coordinator, and then he was a defensive coordinator in his last year.
Okay, all right. I was thinking you were the co-head coach during that period of time for all that, but okay, he was the.
Oh, there was no Ross with Mike Woodley. No.
No. There's that vulnerability. There's the vulnerability we've been looking for.
That's how it's supposed to work. That's how you do that.
We understood the chain of command in that program.
So what you said there that I found interesting, you talked about how you because of your relationship with Travis and your friendship with him, with Coach Johansson, you've kind of kept an eye on South Dakota all season long. Do you watch games differently? So let's say, did you watch those games differently kind of as a fan than you do as a coach when you're preparing for a game? When you watch a football game, when you're done on Saturday, you flip on a game on Sunday, do you watch a game differently as a fan than as a coach preparing for a matchup?
Yeah, sometimes, Ross, if I'm, sitting there having a beer, I'm not really digging into X's and O's. I mean, it's kind of second nature a little bit. You're always going to do that. But I guess when I watch Travis's teams play, and I think he would say the same about us, I think we're both structurally fairly similar on both sides of the ball. We kind of have the same belief system on how to play the game. And I think that's an added bonus to watching him, in addition to him being a really good friend of mine. So I think that's another reason why I, enjoy tuning in when he's on. Like I said, it's not like I get a ton of opportunity because a lot of the time we're playing at the same time, or if we finish early, I'll watch the fourth quarter, or vice versa, those types of things. But as a fan, sometimes when I'm watching Iowa State, because I played there and all that. There's a little bit of fandom that comes out. And when I watch basketball, I don't know what the hell I'm watching anyways, as far as the X's and O's concerned. But like my brother Matt's out at Wake Forest, and they hit a buzzer beater at a 3-point buzzer beater the other night against Memphis. And I mean, I look like a crazy man in my living room, jumping off my chair and yelling and screaming. And I'm like, man, we never win games like this. So the fan comes out in me sometimes, but as far as the football side of things, when I watch like the NFL and just because I think those are, some of the better coaches there are in the world, because that's all they do for a living. They don't have to recruit. They don't, I enjoy the model of the NFL. Now on the defensive side, probably don't watch much defensive football in the NFL because it's so different. But on the offensive side, I really enjoy watching the NFL stuff. And but yeah, as a fan, those are some of the only times that it comes out in me. But answering your question, Rob, probably a little bit of both. When I'm watching his stuff.
Did you know he was going to be head coach when you were working with him? Did you go, this guy has head coaching material?
Yeah. I don't know that we ever had deep discussions about it, but when he had an opportunity to go up there, because he went there as the defensive coordinator, and then I just think over time, of course, working for my dad, I think helps you prepare you for the moment to be a head coach. And he got to work for my dad, and then he went up and worked for Bob Nielsen up at South Dakota, who's kind of a very, very stoic figure, really good leader, great head coach, turned around a bunch of programs. Learned under two really good guys, at his last two stops. And, and then I think just as you get older, and he'd been in the coordinator role for 5-6 years. And, and I just think he started to have a comfort level up there and really likes Vermilion, and opportunity came about. And I think he felt like he was probably ready for it. And of course, he's doing a great job. His success doesn't surprise me, I guess, is maybe the best way for me to answer that. But I do know he's a damn good defensive football coach too.
All right, you mentioned it's Thanksgiving week. How do you? I mean, you got to stay focused. You got to stay. How do you run the holiday with family,
work-life balance?
Work-life balance. Yeah, Ross likes to use work-life balance. You'll probably say there's no such thing, but you do a better job than most. But how do you do it? Have Thanksgiving as a team? Do they get time with family? Or how's this all work out?
Yeah, this year I probably had to approach it much differently than my years at Grandview because of what our rosters look like. At Grandview, we pretty much had all Iowa kids, and then a handful of one-offs from other states, and that one always kind of just became. We would practice really early in the morning on Thursday, and then get them out of there approximately by noon. And then I would give them off from noon. And then we would come back for a practice at about 4 or 5 o'clock on Friday. And coaches invited players to their houses, other players. So that's what I mean when I say we had a bunch of Iowa kids. They would invite teammates to their house, and they were all within a drivable distance where they could go home. Well, here I had to rethink that a little bit, just because of our kids are kind of all over the map, and it's not real convenient. So similar schedule. I do want to give them some time, just a way to enjoy the holiday to some extent. So we'll do the same thing. We'll practice early Thursday morning, and then I'll just everybody will just kind of be out of here by 2 o'clock. But we're going to provide a meal for them here in the Schickler Club here up in the Knapp Center right after practice on Thursday, and then provide a meal of sorts for them in the evening, and then they'll be off. And then with us traveling, at Grandview usually was fortunate enough we were at home the first couple rounds, but we'll be traveling this time, so we got to get a little bit earlier start on Friday. So we'll give them a sliver of holiday, but again. It's still a privilege to be practicing and playing. I guarantee I don't know how many FCS teams there are off the top of my head. I bet you there's over 80, 90 teams that wish they were in our shoes right now. I can tell you that.
All right,
good
Coach.
Perspective on it.
Have a great week of preparation. We do have one final question. Who wears the pants in your house? Is it the wife or is it you?
She's the boss.
Yeah. Listen, Joe's wife is one of them that I think fits into that category we were talking about earlier. Like, It takes a certain personality to be a coach's wife. It really does. And
Yeah,
I would imagine, Joe, you get a lot of accountability from your wife.
Yeah, she is as sweet as the day is long, but you cross her family or anything like that, that's when that tough farm girl kicks in. Her dad was a Vietnam vet. He ran a tight ship in that house, and that comes out in her every once in a while, and I see it. But yeah, she keeps everybody. She does a lot for our family, and of course I got 3 daughters, and so she handles a lot of those conversations that I'm not really equipped to handle. And no, I just coaches' wives are rare breeds, and I certainly believe I have the best one that there is out there. There's no doubt about that.
God gives men daughters when he needs to soften them. There's a reason you guys had multiples.
Yeah, and I had 3 older brothers. So
we're aware.
It's the circle of life, right? Wouldn't change it though, Ross.
No,
both
man.
You guys both got daughters. You know what it's like. It's,
I've got
you
3
can't
daughters.
explain it. It's just it doesn't. There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Coach, good luck this week. Have a good Thanksgiving, and let's
Go get them, buddy.
We'll keep this going as long as you keep going.
Yeah.
All right, you bet. Appreciate you boys as always.
Yep. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Joe Woodley joining us on the Rush Radio Show. God, I'm actually starting to think, I might get up to Vermilion. I mean, Vermilion for
that
me
would
is
be
only
amazing.
2.5 hour drive. Going to Vermilion is like going to Des Moines for me. So that's a piece of cake.
How far of a drive is it from Des Moines?
From Des Moines, well, 2 hours over on I-80 and 2 hours up I-29.
Should I just come pick you up? Is that the plan we should make?
Spend a Saturday?
I'm looking up right now. Vermilion. How far of a drive is it for me to get there? Oh, come on. Stupid phone.
Then you'll want to stop and fish at the spillway.
Well, yeah, why can't we can do some fishing. I mean, come on.
No, we can't.
3 hours, 20 minutes, and that's clipping Omaha.
I could meet you in Missouri Valley. So pick me up in Missouri Valley.
Tyler says, just don't look at the weather. It's all right. It'll be in a dome.
Yeah, it's in a dome, but you got to hopefully they plow the interstate. Hey, did you see Shedeur Sanders got a win yesterday?
Yeah, I did see that. I also saw that they had 12 prop bets for him, and he failed to hit 10 of them. So, bettors are still angry. Doesn't matter that he won his first game he started.
Since 1989, how many starting quarterbacks have the Browns had?
Oh, my gosh. Dude, I feel like I don't feel like I could overshoot this number. Since 1989?
Since 1989, how many different quarterbacks have started for the Cleveland Browns?
40.
42.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't think I could get high enough.
42. He's the first Brown in I don't know how long to win his first game as a starting quarterback. I mean, you got to go back a long time. And here's another thing. I was actually rooting for him yesterday. I know people have their thoughts on Shedeur and Dion and everything, but it was one of those things I just want him to succeed because everybody's been naysaying him and the beating that he's taken for, not being as advertised, by his dad. But now he beat the Raiders. We have to put this in perspective. He beat the Raiders, and the Raiders are bad. So bad they fired Chip Kelly after the game yesterday. First season with Pete Carroll, they fired Chip Kelly after the game. He didn't even make it a full season with the Raiders.
And he doesn't even get one of those giant payouts like Brian.
No. Should have stayed in the college game. You get the payout.
Should have stuck around, man. Yeah. Get all that
Winning
money.
national championships at Ohio State. I did watch some NFL yesterday. The Chiefs, man, I tell you what, they found a way to win yesterday against the Colts, but they're not a very good football team. You just feel the switch, and it happens. You can't keep it going forever. And the Patriots did a decent job, but it just shows you how hard it is.
Patriots did an amazing job of maintaining for all those years. That, especially in the NFL, man, where the parity is just crazy, and how teams are able to turn things around. Then, ironically, we have this in adjacent to our Browns conversation. The one team that can't seem to figure out how to turn it around. You know, I mean, Travis, I think if you're a Chiefs fan, this has been it's been a slow losing of that grip that they had on the NFL for a long time. The last couple of years, you've been at this point in the season, and it's felt like, crap, are they as good as we thought they are? And then the last couple of years, they've been able to. There has been a switch that gets flipped, and all of a sudden, they are playing really good by around Christmas time. And the same could happen. I mean, a month from now, we could be having the same conversations that we've been having with.
I mean, they're a wild card team at best, but they're going to need some help even to get in the wild card. And I watched the Cowboys-Eagles game yesterday. The Eagles just imploded, and it reminded me of just how in the NFL, it ain't over till it's over. I know they can be that way in college, but in the NFL, it ain't over till it's over. And the Cowboys were doing a lot just to beat themselves. There was one yesterday. They lined up. Ross, it was a tie game. It was 4th and goal. And they don't kick a field goal. They go for it and don't make it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Take the points here. I know it's tied. Why would you give the ball back or have that possibility? I mean, some of the Brian Schottenheimer got out of it, got a win, but there's just a couple things where you're like, don't play the analytics. And it's like, ugh. But yeah, so I actually sat and watched some good NFL yesterday. But it is going to be a normal week for the Rush Radio Show. So we are going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And Thursday morning, I'm excited about that, man. Because Bruno even wrote to me earlier or this weekend. He was like, hey, no show on Thursday, I'm assuming. I said, actually, we are doing one, but don't feel like you got to get up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be there. I'll get up. I'd love to come up and get up and do the show with you guys. So
well, he'll have to do 7 o'clock because the Stepsises are coming on at 7:30.
I'll let him know. That might change it for him.
Yeah. And then we're going to have McKenna Velichko on. She's the 5-star recruit for the Iowa Hawkeye women. And we're going to talk to her around 6:30. So a busy Thanksgiving show. And we'll have fun. You guys know us. We're not going to take that day too seriously. And then, of course, Friday morning, that'll actually be a pregame show. We'll be getting ready for the Iowa-Nebraska game. We'll be talking a lot about that. Iowa State's not done either. They're going to go play Oklahoma State. That should be an easy win for the Cyclones. And I shouldn't say easy, but at the end of the day, Oklahoma State's not a very good football team. Iowa State should get to 8 wins to end the regular season. So getting excited. A lot of stuff coming up, and I'm excited for it. What do you got planned today, bud?
Got some real estate stuff to do this morning. Got some more housework to just button up. I made an excellent meal last night, like the spiciest meal I've ever made in my life, homemade. I made this like spicy chicken dish. It was fantastic. So got dishes to do.
Got dishes to do. Before we get out of here, I do want to play this because, we could do a live read, but it's so much better. If this doesn't put you in a good mood, I don't know what will.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City. We can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City. All this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
We should try to harmonize with that.
I can't harmonize. I promise you I can't. But that's better than any live read we can do. So for your liquor needs, go ahead and get to Central City Liquors, all right? All right. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on our social media channels. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you for spending your first 2 hours of the morning with us. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
November's here, and that means Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And here at Willis, we are thankful for you, our guests, for entrusting us with your vehicle and service needs. The holiday season means travel, and that means extra miles on your car that can cause wear and tear. Save that for your pants after all that turkey. And while we can't fix your slacks, we can make sure your car's in tip-top shape. So come on down to Willis for 10% off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.